I was listening to Hamid Ismailion the other day, and he was saying that you don't have to come up with a list of new items every time you have a meeting with a leader. It's just continuing to put pressure on the same point every day. So what I hear in the demonstrations every time I go is put IRGC on the terrorist list. I've had multiple interviews with leaders of Canada. The previous one was with the Minister of Immigration, where they had released some new laws and regulations for the people of Iran who are already in Canada to stay here. And at the end, he said, "Zan zandagi azadi," and it makes me feel so good.
Yeah, but they're all saying that, Mahsa.
I know.
They're all saying that.
Well, you have to
Justin
pretend,
Trudeau's walking
at
out
least.
there, and the German government is saying this, and the Swedish foreign minister, and then they turn around and have meetings with the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic, or they don't put the IRG. You also interviewed Melissa Landsman, who's an opposition member here in Canada, who was explaining that there doesn't seem to be any legitimate reason for not putting the IRGC on the terrorist list. So the problem is this really lip service? I mean, when I talk about last week being a bad week, it was really, not to sound naive, but it was really truly a moment where you could look at the landscape. And by the way, I didn't add the fact that there's rumors, there's all kinds of chatter coming out of the U.S. where they're angling for a deal with Iran. You know, we hear in different ways, right? So no matter what people are saying, no matter what the lip service is, it seems pretty clear that for now, the status quo, business as usual, let's deal with the regime, let's, hedge our bets that there's no revolution for now. That seems to be the dominant thinking of the West.
The West?
Of the West. Of the Western leaders, et cetera.
I can argue on that.
Go ahead.
I will.
Where's your evidence? Where have the ambassadors been recalled? Where have the embassies been closed? Where have they put the IRGC on the terrorist list?
No, they haven't. But there's still, the sanctions are ongoing. They haven't stopped. As long as they haven't stopped, I hope for something good to come out of it. As long as we continue to be on the streets in every country, there is still hope.
Of course, I'm not saying there's no hope.
And I understand that people in Iran are scared, because now it's not only people who are on the streets, it's now schoolgirls who are just going to school and having their normal life. And many of them will end up not going to school for the rest of their lives.
Let's get to that. I want to ask you specifically with the schoolgirl situation. But
I will continue for the point that you were making in regards with the revolution and not having any reflection, or not as much as we want in the Western countries. I would say that it's still ongoing, and as long as it's ongoing and we see things happening, there's still hope, and we should. I was listening to Hamid Ismailion the other day, and he was saying that you don't have to come up with a list of new items every time you have a meeting with a leader. It's just continuing to put pressure on the same point every day. So what I hear in the demonstrations every time I go is put IRGC on the terrorist list. And I now hear that members of the parliament, they chant with people to put IRGC on the terrorist list.
I feel like you've interviewed too many Liberal cabinet ministers. Now you're friends with them and you don't want to be too hard on them anymore.
No, that's not true. Pierre Poilievre is a good friend of mine.
Listen,
don't make rumors.
First of all, I'm not saying there isn't hope. I wouldn't be on a demonstration yesterday if I didn't think there was hope. So I completely agree that there is hope. And I do believe 100% the goalposts have moved, right? If you compare where we were at last August to where things are at today, it's unthinkable.